Hello guys and girls, I guess. So the voiceovers are back. I have decided. I have done them in the past. By the way, excuse me if I sound a little bit rough. I have got a little bit of a cold. But yeah, so basically, to be totally honest, when I'm training, if I want to get these videos up and going more often, I really don't want to, I can't just train and talk. If it's like every now and then, once in a blue moon, I don't mind, but when I'm kind of in the thick of it and I'm trying to keep my head in the zone, I don't like to have to explain my training. And I know I don't have to, because obviously it's kind of self-explanatory. You guys know, a lot of you guys will know how I train by now, but I still have thoughts and feelings as I'm going through the session, so I thought, instead of chatting while I go, which I feel inclined to do if the camera is on me, which just then kind of takes me out of that headspace I want to stay in. I'm not one of those bodybuilders who trains and just, you know, it's like, don't talk to me, and I'll be really angry. I'm not that kind of guy, but I kind of like to just go with the flow. And when I'm in the gym, and my body's always talking to me, so that's what I'm listening to, as well as the music. So I thought, instead of, you know, avoiding training videos because it feels like a distraction, I'm gonna do the voiceovers like I have done in the past. If any of you have followed me for a while, you'll know I like the voiceovers because it just lets me kind of ramble on about anything that's going on in my head regarding the training, the training split, you know, anything that's kind of going on during that time of filming, which I think is better because I'm relaxed, I'm sat at home after training and everything's, or the day after, and everything's kind of mellowed out, and I've got time to put my thoughts out. So I hope you guys like it. Sorry if you don't, but let me know what you think anyway. And I'm not going to go super detailed into the training because, as you see, it's arm day, and I do a quick wrap up at the end of this session, and I'll try and do that at the end of every session because it's fresh how I felt that in that moment in that session. So I'll try and wrap up and kind of tell you guys how it went for me, and if anything stuck out in my mind, and if anything was wrong, or, you know. And then afterwards I'll touch up on it on the voiceover, but I'll use this voiceover to go on about other things that I might want to share with you guys. So it might even be something totally random, like, I don't know, anything that's going on in the I don't even watch, to be honest. I don't even know what's going on in the news type world to do with bodybuilding. I don't really, I'd like to all the gossip, but I don't really pay attention, and I don't really have time to, so I'll just kind of touch upon things that I've come across. You know, if there's been a big show and you guys are interested, we can I can talk about that kind of thing. But so anyway, back to the subject at hand. It's arm day, obviously, so again, I go over this at the end of this session. Arm days for me they've always been a great addition to my training split. I've always had arm day. There's been obviously periods where I've taken arm day out, you know, because I wanted to change the split up a little bit, or I've wanted to progress them in a different way, or see if anything else kind of makes them grow better. But to be honest, up until the last 2 years, my arms have never been a lagging body part. So I think it's maybe a wear and tear thing, but my arms have kind of got left behind over the last 2 years. So, and it's funny because it's the last 2 years that I've kind of put arms in and out, and I've kind of gone against my own usual method of high volume more pumped style arm training, and I thought, you know, maybe I need to go heavier, which doesn't really work for me anymore anyway. So as of this video and onwards, arm day is going back to kind of the old more of a pump, high volume, supersets, that kind of thing. So as you can see in this video, I did go a little bit heavy, but that changes session to session. It depends on how I feel. Sometimes I don't feel as full, so I don't want to do 20-25 sets per muscle, biceps and triceps. Sometimes I want to narrow that down to like 6 to 10 sets. That's when I'll whack up the load. So I like to mix it up that way. But generally I will be heading up towards the upper volume limit with minimal rest periods. This way I can't go as heavy, and this way my elbows and my my elbows and my bicep tendon doesn't get as battered. But to be honest, my arms have been the best they've been for the last couple of years in terms of aches and pains. That's what's kind of held me back the last 2 years. My tendonitis has really flared up, which is, some of you might know, it takes away from that, the ability to get a pump. And to me, the ability to get a pump is one of the first signals that you're training that muscle correctly. You're making it work, fire up properly. So don't care what people say about the pump, it's extremely important. And it's super important. You watch anyone with the biggest arms in the history of bodybuilding, how do they train their arms? You just go back, even Ronnie, the big strong lifter, when you watch him training arms, he just pumps them up. Lee Priest, best arms, pumps them up. Rolly Winkler, he'll do like tri-sets. He'll do 3 different back-to-back angle of rope extensions, totaling like 40 to 50 reps. These guys don't mess about with heavy weight. They will go heavy because they're naturally strong at that point. But anyway, just talking about my own experience. So hopefully this off season, since my tendonitis is very mild, I'm hoping my arms kind of bounce back to life a bit more. They already have during this rebound. They're already like a couple of inches fuller, especially when I train them. So we'll see. The difference I've made to bring the arm pain down, elbow tendonitis, forearm pain, is pretty much just the addition of peptides. I use TB500 and BPC 157 all the time, every day or at least every other day, coupled with GHK CU. So all these healing peptides, as well as just prehab. So I injury prevention is better for me because I've tried massage therapists and all sorts of. In my years, I've been through every different type of therapy. Like I even tried a company that are well known in this area for fixing professional athletes, like Man United, Man City players, rugby players. I even saw them like ridiculous amounts of money per half an hour, and it takes away the edge a little bit, but it never fixed me. So for me, I've given up with therapy, even deep tissue. I don't really get deep tissue anymore. For me, it's more about not letting it get to that point. So constantly being in tune with how I feel, going into every session, how I've slept, how the food is, where I am in my supplement cycle, season cycle, everything adds up. So, how long have you been pushing hard? Right now I'm at the point where I've been pushing hard for pretty much 10 months this year, competed eight times, so my body's pretty much needing a break, which will be happening over Christmas. And I'll go over that in another video. But yeah, so prevention. Knowing how I feel in that first exercise sets the tone for the session. Focusing more on volume, metabolic training. So training to the point where lactic acid stops me from, getting more reps, and then trying to keep that kind of momentum going throughout the session instead of trying to hit big numbers, which I do sometimes too. So, as some of you will know, I don't have a set training style, as in, progressive overload, or is it the pump? What I toggle between them all. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm not talking about this training as much, because as you can see, it's pretty self-explanatory. Supersets. Sometimes I don't superset. I'll just focus on one exercise, like here, and then I'll add another superset next, kind of just back and forth. But if you guys want to try the session, obviously write it down and see what you think. Minimal rest, so I pretty much don't rest. I'll finish a set, kind of just take a few steps around, change my music, and then get back into it. Or drop sets like here. I think I went a bit too heavy with the 30s. So yeah, that's where I'm at with my arm training. I'm hopeful for next year they'll be coming back up, since the pain is gone almost, and my training philosophy, my injury prevention philosophy, hopefully will work. I do a lot of stretching, so at the beginning and the end of beginning I'll do more like dynamic stretches for the area I'm going to be working, and then at the end I'll do hard forced stretches pretty much everywhere from my neck down to my calves. I will make sure I stretch every single muscle. Bit boring, but I do it every day. I kind of tend to find a treadmill in the corner where I can hook my feet up, so that I don't have to, at 270 pounds I'm not going to be able to get on the ground and stretch very much, grab my toes and all that stuff. But I am very flexible, especially my lower body. Kind of made sure I kept that in. So yeah, as you can see, arms are full. I'm at my heaviest right now, and I don't plan on pushing too much further. Well, I feel like I can go a bit more if I can get up and stay around 270. 275 might be a bit of a stretch, considering I was 238 on stage. At most of my shows I was 238. When I was below that, I was a little bit flat, and then the one time I was heavier than that, I wasn't as sharp. So yeah, I'm up around 30 pounds, and for me, to be honest, that's enough. Considering it's a rebound straight after my last show, so I didn't feel fatigued, but I think it's going to creep in if I try and push it anymore. So another couple of weeks of this, then it's kind of just back off and stop forcing it over Christmas. I'll spend probably 2 weeks where I lower the volume and intensity in the gym, and also lower my food intake a tiny bit, and then let my body kind of breathe and hover between 265 and 270, and then after Christmas, or maybe even before, I'll see how I feel, I'll push again to see if we can get another few weeks of growth before I head into my prep for the 2026 shows. So yeah, this one's kind of an old school. I remember seeing Phil Heath do this one off the rack, and it kind of just takes a lot of your body out of it, focuses on the biceps, and just shaking more blood into it, not that it needs. So yeah, as you can see, face is round. I'm not actually fat. My face genetics are, like, as soon as I'm done with competing and I start eating normal, even though I'm still shredded with peeled glutes, my face pops, my cheeks pop out, and it's just the way my body is, really. The only time my face kind of slims down is when I start depleting a little bit towards the end of prep. But I'm not a model. We are the freak show, so It's the this one is a bit of a proper old school machine. You can feel it. It's not smooth anymore, but I like it. This section of the gym has kit that's been there from day one. I joined this gym when I was 17, and I'm 40 now, so that's how long I've been at this gym. This is pretty much the only gym that I've consistently trained at. It's like a second home. It's literally down the road from my mum's when I lived there, so I've pretty much done the majority of my journey in this gym. And these machines in this little area, they're as old as my membership, so, and they're still going. And they've got some new Nautilus kit upstairs, which is absolutely awesome. The lat pull down, old school, and the cable row. Those two alone will improve my back this year for sure. And I like the old school stuff. I don't bode too well with the new, the machines with 25 different pegs on it. I mean they're great. Obviously they're great. I'm not saying anything negative, but I know how I feel when I'm training and I'm repping out an exercise, and I know how I need to feel. So yeah, arms are full. I keep meaning to take a tape measure, not to boast, because my arms, they're not even that big, but I really want to know if I can get them back up to what they used to be back in 2018, which is when they were at their biggest. So I think they were 21 and a half, which 21 and a half to 22, which again, it's not crazy, but if I can get them back to that, then I'll be happy next season, and then keep them when I'm depleting down into a show. So that's it. My split right now is kind of changes a little bit, but it's my usual split. So day 1 is back and abs. Day 2 is chest and calves. Day 3 is legs and abs. Day 4 is so day 4 kind of turns into day 4 and 5 sometimes. The last few weeks I've been doing a day 4 and then repeat. So day 4 will be arms, and then I'll tag side delts onto chest, and then rear delts and traps onto back, so I don't have a shoulder day. But I'm going to put shoulder day back in because I feel really good. I kind of took them out so I could up the frequency a little bit in my rebound, but I'm going to pull them back in. So I have a 5-day split. So shoulder day after leg day, and then it'll be an arm day to finish off the rotation. And I will tend to have a midweek day off, either a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then I'll have Sunday off 100%. So family day Sunday, off the diet, off everything. It's just the one day that I'm gonna relax. I'll probably still start the day and eat most of my diet food, planned food, but I will have a cheat meal at the end of the day or during the day with the family, whatever else I want on top, especially now heading into Christmas. I am not going to be strict, but luckily I don't get fat. I could probably have a cheat meal every night and I won't gain a lot of body fat. So this for me, doing 2 to 3 cheats a week right now, is pretty damn strict. But those cheats are serving a purpose. I'm not going to be hammering a ton of food volume this off season. Not that I have a midsection problem. I think my midsection was the tightest it's ever been this year. So I'm not going to be changing too much to try and be careful midsection wise. But the only reason I'm reducing the cheat meals is just for general health. Like junky calories. And if I want extra cheat meals, I'll probably might do something home cooked, or I'll go to my mum's. I can't even get my arm behind my back here. So that's it, guys. I'm going to probably do the wrap up in a minute in the training video, so I'll leave you guys to it. Let me know if you like the voiceovers. So I will have a kind of a a topic in mind on that training day or filming day, and I'll bring it up in the voiceover, and I'll just kind of ramble on with what's going through my head. But yeah, so I feel great right now, and I'm going to keep the filming going, especially now that I can do the voiceover. So I'll try and knock out like 1, maybe 2 sessions a week for you guys, and then food on top. So with that in mind, I will say my goodbyes, and you guys please let me know in the comments what you think, what you want me to ramble about, or even if you want me to shut up. The other one was like a live Q&A maybe after Christmas. I know that's kind of a popular thing right now on YouTube, so I can kind of sit here for an hour or two. And if people want to log on and kind of just throw questions at me, that could be something to get us connected. Then it means I'm actually speaking to people rather than just speaking to myself. So thanks for watching, guys, and give me some feedback, and I will see you or speak to you next time.
Okay, so that's arms done. Started off with calves. So we did 1 work set on calves, triple drop set, triple rest pause, sorry. And then moving on to arms. So as you saw, it's a bit of a mishmash. I like to superset them sometimes. I like to alternate them. Just whatever I feel like doing in that moment. But I find supersetting my biceps, triceps works just as good as doing one and then onto the other. So started off with a warm-up, and then concentrated cable curls on the biceps, 2 work sets, low reps. Everything's kind of low reps for me right now, just so I can get the loading nice and high, but I keep my form as strict as possible. So we did cable curls, then we went on to tricep push downs again on the single cable, low reps, as heavy as I could go. As you could see, I was probably shaking a bit. 2 work sets again. I'm trying to hit 2 to 3 work sets for arms, as it's more of an isolated muscle group rather than compound exercises. Then we went on to bicep curls on the dumbbells, seated. So I would do a few reps on one arm, go to the other, and then when they fatigue, I'll do alternate, so that one gets a breather. Two work sets on that, and then it was tricep overhead extension machine, old school, hammer strength, pin stacked, bit of a torture chamber. It's like a skull crusher, but takes the stress off the elbow and shoulder. So 2 work sets on that. I decided to superset biceps into that this time, with concentration curls, as you could see, holding onto a support and letting my arm hang. So most of the tension is on the biceps. So 2 work sets, triceps straight into biceps. So by that point, that was 3 bicep exercises, which is the most I do for biceps. But it was only 2 triceps, so we went on to dips for triceps, 2 work sets. And then heavy back supported easy bar push downs, 2 work sets. So that's 4 exercises for triceps. And then 1 isolated one trying to hit the outer head, which for me is lagged a little bit, so kind of just extensions to the side. So yeah, 5 movements for triceps, 3 for biceps, tricep being the bigger muscle, and tricep being the muscle that I tend to lose in prep. It flattens out, so I'm going to try and keep the volume up a little bit more on that compared to the biceps. So there you have it, guys. Arm day done. It's time to go home and eat. See you next time.